Welcome back to my AI-powered mapping series for web developers. So today we're going to be building something similar to what we did on day 1 of this series. In day 1, we created an app where users clicked on the map and the app generated content about the clicked location using the OpenAI API. But today we're going to switch things up a bit. Instead of using OpenAI, we'll be using a much cheaper yet still powerful alternative for text generation, Google Gemini. So while each API has its specific use cases, this one works great for what we need. And I thought it might be helpful to show you this more cost-effective alternative. Plus, I'll be using Esri Leaflet instead of the ArcGIS JavaScript SDK to demonstrate a different approach. So let's jump in. All right, I'm starting with a basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript structure. So in the HTML, I have a basic structure already set up. And in the head, I'm going to include the necessary libraries. I'll be bringing in Leaflet and Esri Leaflet through their CDNs so that it's easy to work with. Now in the body, I'll create a div with the ID of map, and this is where our map will live. All right, onto the CSS. In here, I'll be sure that the body has no predetermined margins or padding, and I'll have the map take up the entire page. All right, now onto the JavaScript. So first, I'll initialize the map using l.map, which targets the map div that we just created. I'm setting the map's initial view, which centers the map on a specific latitude and longitude, in this case, Washington, D.C., and I'm also setting the zoom level to 13. Next, I'll go ahead and define the access token for Esri services. And this token will allow me to access the vector base map layers, and I'll use l.esri.vector.vector base map layer to add the ArcGIS streets layer to the map. Now, we'll go ahead and set up an event listener for when the user clicks anywhere on the map. So when the user clicks, I'll capture the latitude and longitude from the event and pass these coordinates into the generate content function, which will handle generating text about the location. Now, once the content is generated, we'll go ahead and display it in a pop-up at that click location. All right, finally, I'm going to go ahead and create the generate content function, which makes a request to the Google Gemini API, passing in the coordinates. I'm first going to define my Google Gemini API key, and then the URL that contains the API endpoint. All right, next I'll define request body, which contains the data that will be sent in the body of the post request. It contains a contents array, and inside this is a parts array, which then inside that holds an object with a text field, where I dynamically insert the latitude and longitude of the clicked location. All right, next I'm going to use fetch to send the post request to the API. And I'm going to ensure that the request headers and body are included. Now once the request is sent, I await the response and then store it in data. And finally, I will return the generated text from the API to be placed into the pop-up. All right, let's see this app in action. So as we can see, we have our map displayed here. I'll go ahead and click anywhere on the map, and just like that, we get a description of this location directly from the API in our pop-up. And that's it. And that's it for today. You've now seen how you can build a simple app that lets users click on the map to generate content about the location, but with Google Gemini instead of OpenAI. We also used Esri Leaflet for a change of pace. So I hope this gives you guys a great alternative. Come back tomorrow for another AI mapping web tutorial. Thanks for watching, and happy coding!